Whoa, hello. Y'all missed the pre-show. We don't record it for obvious reasons. And it's probably because we don't want things used against us in the future at any time. Um, I am Dr. Dream. You are you, and we are here for the It's All Good Circle. It is November the 17th, Monday in the good year of 2025. We're nearing Thanksgiving, leads us into other holidays, and then the new year. Very exciting times, fun stuff. I have had a fascinating week. Just checking in with all of you. Kidney stone, this thing, it's like I'm going to move, I'm going to move, I'm going to move for a couple of days, and then it's like I'm not going to move at all, and I'm going to have him think that maybe it's gone. And I still drink the watermelon, lemon juice, coconut or cucumber, and take the Chanca Piedra and all the stuff that I do. And then I think it was Saturday night, I was in probably the most pain I've been in this particular kidney stone process of 4 weeks. Like literally tears. I was literally in tears, and it was like almost hospital level. And so Sunday, was it Sunday? Yeah, it was Sunday. I said, all right, my naturopath last week said, hey, I've got this remedy. It's not healthy, but I know someone who did it, and it worked wonders for her. And she was at the end of her rope, and she said, Dr. Dream, it seems like you're getting to the end of your rope. And so Sunday morning, I got up and I was just like, oh my God, I'm at the end of my rope. Let's do this. And it was 64 ounces of Coca Cola and 2 bunches of organic asparagus made into a pureed soup, all consumed in a 2-hour period. And first of all, who knew that it was that difficult to ingest all of that in 2 hours? Like, and I'm one that likes a good Coca Cola, in the bottles, the Mexican ones made with the cane sugar instead of high fructose corn syrup. I like those once in a while. Don't think I'm going to need one for a while now. I don't have really the taste for it, and I'm a little bit off of asparagus. And off the record here, because we're not being recorded or anything, you can only imagine how my urine smelled. Oh, shoot, we are being recorded here. Oh, darn it. All right, well, the world knows now. So I don't think it cleared the kidney stone, but it was an experiment. It was fun-ish, funny, something. I don't know, something with the word fun in it. And it was a thing, and I did it as I do all things with a great amount of gusto. So tonight I'd like to share a couple of things. I realize that probably not many, there's 600 people a week read my newsletter. I just don't know who they are. So let's see a show of hands. Who read my newsletter this week? Gail, I know you did because she sent me a text. Jen, you did? The newsletter? The It's All Good newsletter? The Dr. Dream one? Okay, cool. Well, that's not bad. Were you scratching your forehead, Destiny, or were you saying I read it? No, you're scratching your forehead. Okay, I get it.
I read it.
Who was that?
It was Stephanie.
Steph, you proof it. I'm like, could you check this for errors? That's the
Still
only
read
way I
it.
get. That's the way I know you're going to read it. The truth comes out. All right. Anyway, I'm going to read to you the opening to the newsletter because it kind of plays into what I'm going to talk about tonight. This past week, we came to the undeniable conclusion to bring the upcoming new Tour of Love to life at the level we had envisioned, the level it deserves. We must postpone the plan and devote more time to the structure, the details, and the energetic alignment behind it. It was a lofty plan and an inspired one. And while we received incredible encouragement on the new concept, we encountered resistance in too many areas. Not unsurmountable resistance. We absolutely could have pushed through it, but doing so would have placed this beautiful evolutionary concept at risk. And we're not willing to risk the integrity, the magic, or the resonance of this tour. What has been fascinating in this process is stepping back as the observer. The moment we paused, other opportunities began falling into place effortlessly, a powerful validation of my philosophy: stop, observe, follow the signs and messages. I won't pretend that this has been a comfortable decision to make. We poured enormous energy into this vision, and it's never easy to shift direction when you're already mid-stride. But thank goodness we're paying attention. Listening now is far more comfortable than having to course correct later. This is alignment in action. This is integrity over ego. This is the tour of love choosing its perfect timing, and we are honoring that. And so, yeah, it was a BFD. I mean, it really, you know, we had so owned this dream of what this tour was going to be about and everything else. But got to just follow through with everything. So that's going to play into some stuff, but I wanted you all to know that. And then, Jen, I was saying earlier before we got everything started that you sent me a reel, a Facebook reel or something to watch recently, and the woman had channeled wherever she channels from, and the message was peace, love, power. Do you remember that? So I had this Post-it note on my desk, peace, love, power, and I look at it like 50 times a day for like the last week or 10 days. And so every time I looked at it, I was like, well, what's that mean to me? And how's that really play in? And power's an interesting word. And here she is saying it's peace, love, power, and everything. So I ended up writing a little something on it. I'm going to share that with you right now. Peace, love, power, the three codes that change everything. In a world that seems to move faster every day, where our attention is constantly pulled outward and our nervous systems are stretched thin, we need simple and powerful ways to recalibrate our inner state. Over the last few weeks, I watched a theme emerge through my conversations, the events that I participate in, and the collective field itself, a theme of people wanting to feel more grounded, more connected, more aligned with who they truly are. Three frequencies keep showing up: peace, love, power. Three codes, three anchors, three pathways back into ourselves. Together, they form a living technology that supports us physically, emotionally, and energetically. Peace, the frequency of stillness. Peace isn't the absence of activity, it's the presence of clarity. It's the moment we drop from the noise of the mind into the intelligence of the breath. Peace softens the ground so the next two codes can take root. Peace is power in slow motion. Love, the highest technology. Love is more than emotion. It's an energetic architecture that rewires everything it touches. Love recalibrates timelines. Love dissolves fear. Love amplifies truth. Even a 2% opening of the heart can shift everything. Just 2% more being open of your heart can change everything. Power, alignment in action. True power has nothing to do with force. It is clarity expressed, aligned mind, aligned heart, aligned action. Power stabilizes your path and strengthens your boundaries. The three codes together: peace softens the field, love expands the field, power stabilizes the field. This is how we walk. This is how we rise. This is how we serve. Close your eyes. Inhale peace. Exhale tension. Inhale love. Exhale fear. Inhale power. Exhale doubt. You're ready. You're ready. The world doesn't just need more information, it needs more aligned humans. Humans who walk with peace, speak with love, and move with power. Peace, love, power. 3 frequencies, 1 path, and we walk it together. So, always happy to share some of the things that go on in my crazy mind, and feels good to get these things out, and love sharing them with all of you. Tonight, our topic is what I'm learning about myself. And it's the tagline for the topic is the inner journey never stops. And tonight, each of us will share a realization or awareness that's come through for each of us recently. As always, I'm going to start, not because I particularly want to, but because I don't want to put anyone else on the spot before I call on Phil and then Destiny. So I've had some time to look at this and look at what's going on with me in my life, and that's why I wanted to read to you about the changing of the tour. And the greatest thing that I'm learning about myself is that in this last week, and also this has to do with kidney stone and really everything else, is lessons for me about acceptance, and that maybe I'm ready to accept acceptance. And I look at my life, and I'm not I've had resistance to acceptance along the way. I think I think about my little brother who's no longer here, and just accepting his presence not being here, his physical presence. I think about my life that I planned or focused on when I was a little boy, and all the things that didn't allow that to pan out. And there is some grieving around all of this. Not that I don't love love my life the way it is right now. But when I look back, there are aspects of really me not being in acceptance that has caused maybe suffering for me. And so I think that not just the greatest thing that I've learned about myself recently, but the aspect of life and my reality that I am choosing based on everything is to accept acceptance, and when we decided to postpone the tour, I was in resistance to that. I was not in acceptance of it, even though it was really my idea. I really was not. The acceptance wasn't there. I was making a choice, but I was resisting it, which threw me into a solid 36 hours of depression. And my friends, you probably can guess, I don't get depressed. I don't experience depression. And I went there for 36 hours. It was the postponing of the tour. It was the kidney stone just wearing me down and wearing me down and wearing me down. And it was some legal things that have popped up again that I thought weren't going to pop up again. And it just was like, WTF, seriously, you've got to be kidding me. And just all of it at once. And so learning about myself is that if there's still aspects of me not accepting acceptance, I'm ready to accept it. I'm ready to tired of resistance. I'm tired of resistance from the outside world, but more than that, I'm tired of resistance from my inner world, from me, the resistance that I create, which obviously it all starts within us. And so then, of course, I would experience it outside of me. Okay, that feels pretty good. What a great opportunity to share with all of you. I appreciate you so much. And Phil, are you ready to jump in?
I am. So I'm going to tell a little story about some elk. Um, I've got a friend that's raising some elk, and I just happened to be in a conversation with him probably 3 weeks ago. And I said, I have this land that is just kind of sitting idle. What should I do with it? And he said, raise elk. I said, oh, interesting deal. So I kind of went into this whole idea, and I met with another guy that's raised elk since the 1980s, and his family, they do fencing and they do all this stuff. So I started looking at numbers, and at first I thought the numbers were going to come in a little better than they did, and I'm telling this story because it leads to something much greater, which is, as we get older, there's other things that we have to consider. And so as the numbers finally came together, I had to look at the whole project, and my whole family is saying, oh, this is really cool. This sounds like fun. Do it if you want to, just go for it. And, well, I finally said, no, I'm not doing it. And I talked to the guy that had put all this stuff together for me, and I just said, can't do it. I said, I ran the numbers, and I'm just not liking the timelines. Now, the reason I bring this up is that was a struggle for me to say that I'm at a place in life that I need to back off of certain things and take into consideration the people around me, and what does this mean? Because I turned my property into an elk farm. This is a venture that those elk just don't go away. You just don't open the gate and let them disappear. This is a real commitment for a number of years on this property, and I just ended up saying, I can't do this. I don't want to burden others, because if something ever happened to me, of which it's not going to for another 28 years, because I've committed to 102. But that being said, I still had to go, you know what? Do I really want to be tromping through the field with elk when I'm 90? I'm not sure. I might more like want to be either walking the beach or like snowboarding in the Monashees. So this was a stretch for me, and maybe some others can. It's at what time in life do we accept a little bit of getting older, except and I'm not retiring, I'm retreading, but at the same time I'm trying to be a little bit realistic with what I think that I'm kind of changing the curve, because myself and Mary are just so blessed with wellness. We meet with other people that are our age or whatever, and it's not going so well, and we're like, oh, well, And then it's not like you want to smile about it, but at the same time you do. You want to, count your blessings and say, yeah, that's really cool. But back to this thing about what am I learning about myself is I'm learning trying to how to balance with expecting to be a good old age. If we're going to, in 10 years, we might not call 102 old. We might go, oh, well, that's a new 60. And so then I might have to move it to 120. I don't know. I mean, we don't know. But it's an interesting aspect as we get a little older and we start looking at it, how we don't want to look at it, because we don't want to put anything out there. We want to continue on. We want to, forge forward and sort of like create the new per diem, the new thing. I mean, I want to be part of that new rising of age doesn't matter and all of that, because it really doesn't. And so, I just wanted to bring that up because it's an interesting place to find yourself in, that you want to understand it, but yet you want to forget it. You want to set it aside. You want to just go, nah, that's not me. So we'll see. And, thank you, Dr. Dream, for sharing and about, that whole ordeal. Because, yeah, I get it. Sometimes as I move forward, because I've got a lot of people that are a lot younger than me that are looking at me to be kind of this make it happen. Okay. And then sometimes we go, at my age, who wants to listen to me? But they still do. So we'll see. It's all good. Thank you.
It is all good, Phil. Appreciate you in a very big way. I'm aiming for 127 because I want to see my wife turn 100. So that's our formula. I'm going for that. All right. So Destiny's internet connection is not good. Gail has released her microphone, so I'm going to let Gail step in. It's all you.
Okay. So first, why are you limiting yourself to 102? I expect to live to 154. And what is interesting is that once I made that decision, I started eating better. I started doing a little bit more exercise, just a little bit. And now I'm doing more exercise than I have been in 20 years. My hair is less gray. My knees are better. My lungs are opening back up again. So I'm getting better. So that just don't limit yourself and decide that life ends at 102. Set a goal way out there, and because we're going to be completely new biologically, and the body will fix itself if you stop telling it that it's supposed to break. So there's that. In relationship to the question that has been asked of what realization or awareness have you had recently that's come through? So I quit. I gave my resignation for the church board of directors because I'm not supposed to be there. And that was okay. I knew that. But I was talking to the minister who I've had, he and I butted heads a couple of times. And he made some comment, and I made a crackback of, yeah, but nobody listens to me. And he said, au contraire. When we opened this, we run a homeless shelter. And when you started working for the homeless shelter 4 years ago, he hated almost all of the things that I wanted to set in place as policies. How do we do this process? What do we do in these situations? Just all sorts of stupid, some of them were organizational things, and some of them were how to handle the chaos that the homeless often bring with them. And he said, I didn't like almost anything you tried to instill. He said, but we put them in place because you were the one doing the work. And what is interesting is that now I'm not there. I was only there one winter. This is our 4th or 5th year. We are running 6 or 7 shelters. Actually, we're springboarding off. They're springboarding off of us. And the organization that I put in place is being replicated because it worked, because it dealt with people's fragilities, and it made it possible for the staff to talk to each other about what worked and what didn't work with this person or this process. And he said, you don't realize you made 100 little tiny changes that have turned into really big changes, and this whole structure of what we've done going forward. And you've done that in the church, for how we have name tags and what we do at potlucks. And he said, you have your fingers in almost every pie without meaning to, and you just say, I think we should do this. And he said, when we institute those things, we all argue that we don't wanna, and then we do it anyway. And the ideas that come from me, apparently, make a profound difference. I'm on to the next thing, like way on to the next thing. And here they are setting up stuff the way I said, hey, if we did this. So that was kind of cool to hear that. So anyway, don't stop at 102.
That's a nice realization to have when you're leaving. That I like that. That's a nice end cap to the experience and the story and everything. And thank you for giving us that, because yeah, that was good. All right. So next, what do we got? I'm just looking at the list to see who's unmuting. So somebody unmute. Oh, come on. Don't make me start calling on people. All right. I'll just go down my list. Oh, Destiny?
Yes, I might as well give it a shot. How do I sound?
You sound like Destiny.
Okay, awesome. So, I guess a lot of what I've been learning lately kind of runs along the same theme, because I'm very happy and I'm very content with where I'm at in life. It's very simple and it's very beautiful, and I just spend a lot of time looking back and seeing how how much everything that I went through in life made me who I am today and made me able to receive the things that I receive these days in my life, and to have such amazing opportunities and things to look forward. And it's just interesting to me how much the journey has refined my desires. Um, I think that the desires for love and success and all of these different things that I've experienced have become more refined throughout my life, as I have gotten certain desires and found out whether or not it satisfied me or made me feel fulfilled, and realized that the desire was like a layer deeper than that. And um, looking at my life in the future, it's very simple. Um, I have I have a family, and my family's getting bigger, and I live on a little homestead, and um, we provide quite a bit of our own food and milk, and there's a lot of room here for growth, um, for becoming even more self-sustained. And I just like, for so much of my life, a lifestyle like that kind of sounded nice, but it just wasn't for me. Especially at that time in my life. I think I had to go through a wild stage, and I just had to go through all of these different lessons in my life to get where I am right now. And it it makes me realize that even when things didn't seem like they were working out for me, even when I felt so disappointed in myself and so unsure of myself and all of these things, the whole time it's been working out. And um, I just feel so grateful to be where I am, and sometimes I wonder how much of it is even about being deserving of something or not, but more so it's about the journey to becoming more truly who you are and more truly understanding what your real desires are. Um, a lot of my life I've spent just working really hard to spend money on a lot of things, and one of the things my fiance's been teaching me is how fulfilling and satisfying it is to make things for yourself and to fix things for yourself and to learn things. And I get challenged quite frequently because he's a drywaller, and so I've been going to work and doing drywalling with him, and it's definitely the most challenging, frustrating trade that I've tried so far. And some days I have I have days where I get so emotional because I'm so frustrated with that it just I can't meet my what I like. He does it and it looks so easy, and I can't even do anything even close to it after trying for an hour, and he did it in 2 minutes. And so it gets a bit frustrating, but it's just so much worth it learning how to do things yourself. And I'm just so grateful for everything in my life that I've been through and that I have now. And then I had this other interesting experience this week, and I thought maybe um, other people might have something to say about it. But I have this friend who is she's quite democratic, but she wants her gun rights, and she lives up here in North Idaho. And she called me a few nights ago because she's struggling. It's very uncomfortable for her to be a Democrat in such a red state, and probably the reddest part of the state. And um, like, she absolutely can't stand Trump, and and she says that she has all of these facts for why he's this horrible person, and she's having a hard time um, maintaining friendships because of how she feels about Trump and because she wants everybody to agree with her. And she just can't stand. She's like, I think you're a compassionate human being. I think you're a good person. Like, how could we have this pedophile as president? How can you not have a problem with this? How can you not be doing something about it? And it's just interesting because I've known how strongly she feels about this and have kind of been avoiding her friendship a little bit myself because I don't want our friendship to be challenged because I have different beliefs than her and I don't want to be attacked for them. And it's a weird thing that seems like it's more like it's worse in our society than I've ever noticed it before in my life. Like um people are just going so right or left and not wanting anything to do with each other, like despising each other for it. And I don't feel like I'm really not political at all. I have some beliefs, some opinions about what's going on, but it's there's so much going on and I don't really trust any of it. I don't want to fall on any side, but I don't know how to I'm just struggling to navigate the whole world of politics and and being able to get through to somebody and just be humans, not political. So I just thought uh maybe if anybody had any advice or ideas about that, maybe you guys would like to share that too.
There we go. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to table the feedback on that until we get through everyone's lessons that they've learned. I think that you bring up some good stuff, and it could be that we turn that into a roundtable topic discussion for next week. Maybe that's almost the best thing to do. But thank you, Destiny, for sharing, and thank you, Source, for making sure Destiny's connection was strong enough. I see that Stephanie has released her microphone and turned on her camera. My goodness, look at that beauty. Boy,
Nice.
you're beautiful. Go ahead.
All right. So, what I'm learning about myself is something that I've always really known, but I'm just experiencing it more authentically recently. And that is, when I really put my mind to something and give myself 100%, like 100% of me dedicated to something, I'm really good at achieving it, which is nice. And it feels good. It feels successful. But if I give myself like a little inch, then I take a mile, and I don't know if it's just me or if it's just a human condition. Um, but the more that I really just like hold to things, like without taking even an inch, the more I find myself reaching the successes that I'm going for. Um, so that's always interesting, you want to be able to be like, okay, like I can do all this, like have my cake and eat it too, which is kind of a bad phrase. Uh, but I can't. I find, if I'm gonna have my cake and eat it too, then I'm gonna eat like 17 cakes, if that makes sense to anybody. Uh, so that's been interesting. Um, I also have been learning like how important it is for me to be in service to other people. I don't always have the opportunity when I'm just kind of at home, other than to like be in service to my family, my husband, my dog. But just like acknowledging the level of satisfaction that I get when we are out in service to like large groups of people, and how fulfilled I find myself when we're like doing events and traveling around and meeting lots of new high vibrational people, and how like eye-opening and awakening it is to go around the country and see how many people are awake and conscious and like raising their overall well-being to help their communities. It's very inspiring to see so much of that in so many places. So recently I'm trying to figure out like how I can do more from my home because I really like being home. But I do want to figure out how I can do more to help more people, to reach more people from the comfort of my own home. And so I'm learning about myself that it is important for me to do that. And I am working towards figuring out what it is that I want to do. I'm not quite exactly sure what that is yet. I know what I want to inspire in people. And so I guess I'm learning that about myself also. I do feel like it's kind of a really deep topic that you picked this week because it provokes us to be really like authentic and transparent with ourselves about like, okay, like what are we learning? You can really stay on the surface with it, but like why? Um, there's a lot of depth that can, I mean, like there's like a whole ocean that can be like swam within, with all this cool sea life to find, whatever, like I don't know, like snorkeling, scuba diving, like example. Um, and in looking within myself to try to figure out what it is that I am realizing about myself, there's a lot going on in there. And I appreciate the question so I can like think about it and ponder. And I do think that the more that I continue to think about it, the more I will start to realize also. Um, so yeah, I don't know if any of that made sense to any of y'all, but that's what I'm learning recently. All right, cool. Thank you.
I'm so blessed to be married to you, and I could
Thank
go off
you.
on so much stuff right now. Just yes, you're a treat. Thank you for
Thanks.
sharing, Stephanie. Love that you are here and present with us. So, Susie, let's go ahead. I saw your microphone is opened up. Let's let it flow.
So, what I've been learning about myself, and I keep learning, is how I know that when I put my mind to something, that I don't give up. Like this new endeavor with the podcast or the YouTube channel. Um, I really dove hard into that. And I also want to continue to figure out what is it that I'm doing or saying that does it have value to people. I know that I've been defining what I believe the ego is just to a lot in the last several to uh, make it really visible and transparent so that it's easily recognized in myself and hopefully other people will, because it's like that word is like, it's like, what, ego? It's like, so I've really tried to like shine a light on what I think the ego is and how destructive it can be. Although it served me and saved my life when I was growing up in my survival mode. Um, Thank you very much. I read Daryl's book, and it's muttering in the back seat right now. And where so at the same time, it's like every now and then I will get a text or somebody will write and tell me how much what I wrote meant to them, because I will still, through my ego, I'm sure it's my ego, cycle through doubt of whether or not these things really have value to anybody. But if they have value to one person, it's like, okay, it's like, because it's not, it's, I don't, it's just, it's, and I like being able, I like being able to just do this from my living room. I don't know what else I would do to be of service to anybody if I can't imagine what else I would do if I couldn't have some sort of audience. And so this, I feel satisfied that I am serving a purpose. And at the same time, it's like, okay, so there's that. I'm learning how to do these technical things, and this is really great. And I put my mind to something, and it's like I can do that. And then when it comes in other areas, I am still out of phase, out of alignment, not trusting, not allowing. It's like, how do I get better at allowing life to serve me. I feel like it's like it's like in one of the writings I said, they've got those images where if you look too hard at it, you can't see it. You've got to sort of loosen your focus and gentle kind of slow your roll of looking at it before you can actually see an image appear. And I feel like that's where it's like I'm looking too hard at something, and not just allowing myself to receive something. So what to do about that is just keep, sitting with it and just being present with it, leaning into it, whatever that is, that place that is resistant, not accepting there's something, there's something. And so I just it's not something, I can't bully my way into it. It's not that kind of a thing. It's more sitting quietly and present and being present with it and allowing whatever comes up out of the silence after my mind gets done batting it around like a yo-yo, and just continue to be with it. But I'm very grateful because I've come a long way, and I couldn't be here if it weren't for everything that I've gone through, including all of this. I have a lot of gratitude.
Are you good?
Good.
You make a difference in my life on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis, and I am grateful for our connection and for all I learned from you and what you reflect back to me. I just couldn't move on without putting that out there. Who's next to unmute their microphone? I know that Linda had to leave. So Sylvie, yes, my dear, jump right in.
Yeah, it's even about what Susie said before, allowing myself to receive. And I'm just started yesterday, was the first day of the worksheet I got from you, Dr. Dream, and I'm really grateful for. And it was really interesting to watch because the question was, where in my life did I learn it was unsafe to receive. And maybe that's an interesting question even for you, Susie. And it was really interesting to watch myself. And I even did here in my room a timeline with anchors and just walked and getting younger and younger and younger. And I landed up in childhood. And it was like I grew up was having a father till I was something about 9 years. And then my parents split up and they were divorced then as I was 11. And from this time, it was every time if I saw my father, he was a musician. It was really interesting because you got just some money, like, and it's nice to see you, kid, and you get the money, but it felt not safe. And I could follow this pattern. It was keep on going even as I was a young woman in relationship. You receive something, but it's not what you want. It's like, you know, you want safety. You want someone who takes care. You want someone who listens. You want someone who loves you, who is by your side. But all you get is like money, material things. And it's not at all what you want. And this was giving me the feeling it's unsafe to receive because it's not the whole package. It's just something, I found the word, it's a consolation prize. And for me, it felt like, oh my gosh, it was coming along with having like a stone in my stomach. And that was even the thing what I was ready to soften, to release this and to split this off and see this different and to see even the value that I have, because this unsafeness even had to do with feeling unsafe and having not this feeling of self-esteem. Oh, I've been seen. It's like, oh yeah, here you have, at this time it was, for example, 5 D-Mark, and it's okay, kid. And it felt even as a young adult the same. And as I walked the timeline, I could feel that literally it broke off 20 years ago and not released all. It's like, I feel myself like every time I picture like an onion and there are so many peels, what consistently can peel off. And I started, I think it was 2 years, 3 years ago, really to express myself and found myself losing people I loved. Just about I expressed myself from saying, I feel this at this moment, but I don't want to stop with doing this and expressing how I'm feeling with different situation, conflicting situation. If I can't express myself, and this is even a result of the whole story with receiving too, if I can't express myself and the other person is not open to listen, then this is probably not a loving person. And it's not every time easy. It's connected to pain and even to sadness. But if I can't be truth, then these are not the real people around me, right? And if I think there needs to be this space, even to be open to receive, if we express ourselves really truly and say, oh, I feel like this, and this makes me uncomfortable in this situation. Yeah. And it's really interesting. I could feel you so much, Susie. Because it's like the value what we bring to the world. Most of the time, other people see it. But we often think, oh no, we are so small, we are so little. But let's be this drop. Let's be this drop of water that holds the stone. It's the consistency that holds the stone. And it's like what I feel the whole time. And I can go with this. It's like not every time I feel secure with where I'm standing, but I'm standing more and more better and more secure the more I even dive in and watch my thoughts about myself. Because what we learned about ourselves to think is so destructive that it's really, it hurts. Because we criticize ourselves so much. And we need to be more loving with ourselves. We need to see that we are awesome. And thank you. Thank you all for your being. And thank you, Dr. Dream, for this worksheet. It opens up a lot. And I'm really grateful for that. For all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvie. And it is an honor for me to walk this path with you. And I appreciate yours and Susie's. I appreciate all of our shares tonight. Boy, this sure beats the heck out of talking about the weather. So thank you. I just had to throw a little humor out there because humor is good medicine also. Really, this is spectacular. Who is going to be next up? I see that we've got Jen Urban still. We've got Karen. We've got Monica. We've got Vienna. Who would like to unmute? Oh, Jen, there you go. Take it away.
Yeah, Stephanie was right. This is a deep subject. It's I was like, whoa. I don't know. First what came into me, I totally agree with you, Gail, is like I'd like to be here till at least 150. I am very optimistic about the prospect of reverse aging. And I know we can do it when we clean out our temple, which is a lot of things. Obviously, it's spiritual, mental, emotional, physical. It's a lot to clean out. It's a process. And when you come into this new awakening, which is, that's where I see it. There are a lot of things that I was aware of, but for me, it really, I had this divine inspiration for truth at a deep, deep level. And so I went inward and just literally have lived by seek and you'll find, ask and you'll see, knock and the door will be open, the truth will set you free. And I went all in. And so I had a lot downloaded all at once. So I think my recent awareness is that I don't have to be a people pleaser, which is what I've always been. I enjoy it. I enjoy serving people. I enjoy serving my family. I'm a giver. I think an awareness around that is that being aware, more aware of who and how you're giving, because I'm sure we all are aware now that as givers, we tend to attract takers. And it's not bad to be a taker or to receive, but you know, there's a difference between energy vampires and and receiving something that someone's offering. So I've had a lot of good lessons in my life around that. Maybe not so good. You know what I mean? But the people that I attract now are in resonance with me. I'm finding that. I don't need to be a follower. I can be a leader just by, as Phil would say, being. Just by being, I can lead. As when you step out of the norm, you will inspire others to step out of the norm and to maybe see things differently and to maybe think, hey, it's okay not to follow the herd. And I have learned that even recently, in the last, couple years by speaking out. You never know who's listening, who needed to hear because they saw things the same way you did, but they were afraid to say something. And it's kind of the ripple, once you start to be your true self, your true authentic self with your true gifts. I think that ripple effect starts to inspire others around you because it is truth. It's not fake. And there's something about that. And what I'm seeing in my own community with the ripple effect are more and more people. We're having a lot more health events around, I don't want to call it alternative because it's not the alternative. The original healthcare, the natural things that God gave us. And it's really cool to see it's kind of snowballing where people are having more and more of these health events outside of the medical industrial complex. And we have people that are nurse practitioners and some doctors and such too that are kind of like a bridge, but it's not only inspiring people to come in that want to receive those services and support that, but also it's inspiring other people to go inward and find their destiny, their true gifts, not what the world expects of them, but their creative side. So we have people that are all about anything sourdough, and we're talking, cinnamon rolls, that's their thing. We have people that are all about elderberries, and we have all these different healing modalities that in our community, we have a whole list of people now that we are sharing functional lab analysis that read your blood at a much deeper level that is looking at, the whole picture. But for me, it's been inspiring to listen to my calling. Not always easy. I'll tell you, I'm exhausted. And sometimes you feel like you're by yourself. I hear it in all of you. Sometimes we feel like we're alone, but we're not. We have attracted this group and many others, that are attracted to you and your light. And maybe we think that we should, I don't even know how to say what I want to say, but maybe we have an idea of what, we should be doing, but it's really not, I think it has maybe connection a little bit, Susie, with what you were talking about, because I wrote it down. Allowing life to serve me, you said. And it made me resonate on what Daryl's actually going to be talking about on Thursday, which is how beliefs affect how we manifest or how we receive. Like we have blocks in there that stop us from receiving what it is that we're actually desiring. So I've actually had a couple of sessions with one of the gals I met in our local community who's doing emotion coding. I'm sure some of you are familiar with that. And it's really cool. There's emotion coding, and then you can go deeper with body coding, where your body actually holds on to whatever that emotion is and is causing problems. So we've got a couple of people in our community that are really good at it. But it's not like talk therapy. You don't actually have to sit there and talk. They are muscle testing, and they have techniques and a diagram, or I don't really even know, that they go through, and they can determine, what emotion that it is, and if it's your emotion, or if it's somebody else's emotion, and if it's generational, on what parent's side and how many years and all this stuff. It's very interesting, and often, so you don't have to share anything, but often, when she states whatever it is that she's clearing, it resonates. I can actually connect it to something, But so Susie, that might be something to look into to see. I know that my person does she'll do remote Zooming, but it's something to check into to see if you can clear some things that would help to relieve whatever it is because I have my own blocks too, so that we can be our full divine light, so that we can actually do what we came here to do and be our divine purpose. I mean, I've said this before. I believe that everybody was instilled with their own divine gifts from God, and most people aren't even in touch with what that is because of the systems that have pulled us away from our gifts to be in the system, or to run the system or whatever. So tapping back into who you are, what makes you happy, what are your gifts, what do you enjoy doing? Susie, I just love what you're doing. I really feel like you've tapped into your gifts with the completely, just the writings, the readings, your voice, the music. It's just beautiful. But yeah, that's me. I think that's about it. Yeah, just trying to be you and be okay with being you. Be okay with being you. We don't have to be somebody else. We've been conditioned to think we have to be somebody else. We've been conditioned to think we have to be in competition with somebody else. We have been conditioned to think we have to do this way or that way or better or whatever. No, you just have to be you. So that's it.
Thank you, Jen. I really love that. I love that when we step up and we be our truth, it gives others permission to be their truth. So much is just by example. We don't do it to affect other people. We do it to affect our calling, but it does have that ripple effect, and all of you have had that ripple effect on me. And also, we're not alone. And that was the whole thought behind creating the It's All Good Circle is that we have this place where whatever our week is like, we show up and we realize we're not alone, because there's however many of us here, and we're all in this together. And these shares remind us that deeper connection. Also, Vienna is who's on right now, and I'm going to ask her to unmute here in a moment and have her step up. Is well versed in emotion code, and I imagine that she does online Zooms with it. Vienna, are you ready to share, dear?
I am. Thank you. Yeah, I love the online works, but everywhere everywhere God is, we can follow along. So love it, love it. The biggest, I feel like I'm on a fast track right now. I've got several people that it's like almost every day I've got some time that I'm spending with someone, and it's like the coolest stuff. And the big theme the last day or two has been hypervigilance. And I can remember even as a young child scanning faces. I had to be the first one to answer the teacher's question, the first one to laugh at a joke. It's just like, be there, prove that you're quick, that you've got this. And so the insight is, oh my goodness, when we're hyper vigilant, we can't actually even be normal vigilant. There's a right kind of noticing what's going on around you. And when you're in the hyper stage, you're so tunnel vision. It's like the hormones have it zoomed in. It's like, how much was I actually missing? Because it was like jumpy scanning. So it's just, and it was like partly fear and criticism. Like, how can I outgive someone so that they won't criticize me? Whoa, what kind of motive is that? It's just like where you're right down. So in that, uh, coming to be at, so I had a picture of a soldier, they're all standing at attention and then at ease. And the friend that I was talking to was like, that doesn't mean they're taking a nap. They're still paying attention, but it's from this to at ease for a moment. So I'm wanting to lean into that at ease. And someone said, well, what would feel like most comfortable to you? And I'm like, oh, I know exactly what that is. A nap in the sunshine. And now I've added on a sheepskin rug as we come to cooler weather. I'm just like, oh, I get it purring. I'll learn to purr. That's kind of my new fun is thinking about how to do that. And one of the things that it looks like in conversation is a pause, so like my roommate's out of town for a month, and so I'm just talking freely. I'm in the living room, I don't have headphones on going, oh my gosh, what if she hears this? Will I be kicked out? Like what kind of heavy misery is that? And yet that's my story. It's all my story in my head. She listens to people that believe differently than she does. She doesn't throw her radio out the window because she heard something. It's like, what? Why do so the new strategy is for instance, if my daughter were to overhear something, she's so afraid I'm going to go off the rails and the family's going to fall apart because that's what was holding it together. It's like, ooh, there's some interesting pressure if you choose to pick it up, right? And so in like, well, okay, so let's say Lydia overhears something and she comes in and goes, Mom, that was so weird what you're listening. Oh, I'm so curious. What was it that you heard that sounded so wild to you? And to have a pause. And sometimes the words just drop down in the hole of the pause. It's like that because I had to be quick to respond. I was just first thing that comes to my mind, or not even like when we talk about what came to me was that's spirit, right? This would be like whatever my little Wolverine backed into the corner could come up with first to spout out of my mouth to try to be safe. So learning to take that pause, put the transmission in neutral for a minute and just go, ah, okay, yes, what was it you were saying? And then just see what goes. I don't have to respond. I can take a 30-second pause if I want to. I can take a 30-day pause if I want to. There's nothing saying I have to jump. You want me to jump? How high? No. I'm gonna let that drop, fill in the space with a pause and curiosity. So that's what I'm learning about myself and how to respond. Thank you.
Thank you, Vienna. I so appreciate you sharing. We've still got about 10 minutes left. We've got Monica and Karen. Karen doesn't normally share, so I'm not sure that she's going to step up. So I'm going to just call on Monica. Are you prepared to talk tonight, or where are you at?
I texted her and didn't get a response. She's just come back in from long travel overseas.
Okay.
And she might, oh, she's unmuted. I thought maybe she
All
was
right,
asleep.
there we go. Go
I've,
for it, Monica.
I've been texting to keep myself awake here in the chat. Because often I'll say once I'm listening, I get very relaxed, and Vienna is right, I will doze. So, but, and I'll say more because I get at ease, and we know how that goes. So anyway, I'll go back to the beginning. We talked about what are we learning, about ourselves, and I'll say a couple of things. The peace and power, and I'll add in reflection, if you will. Right now, I'm in a place where I love my family, love them dearly, and I've been away from them for a while and for long spats of time, which has been more of a blessing to me than I realized, and more of what I needed than I realized, because we talked about energy vampires, and I'm a giver in different ways, and I've learned to not be the people pleaser anymore. However, I still realize that a big part of me still loves to share, and I also recognize the necessity for people to have skin in the game, have something to share back in order for there to be a good balance. Because sometimes people don't, if there is not an effort of them to receive, then sometimes there's not the full respect or what's needed for them to fully get what they need. It's long, complicated, but that was a long way that I learned something, and that was after many, many, many years of working with people, like-minded people in this room. But I will say, I was so loving of my family that I sacrificed my peace. And this time around, when I came back in town, which I just arrived, I said to myself, nope, I love them and I love myself enough to protect my peace. And from that protection of my peace and those boundaries drawn, decision of what I will acknowledge and speak to, or acknowledge and be silent to, allows me to retain my peace. It increases the love, and through that peace, I've been gaining a different kind of power within myself, within my life. And I'll just say it's taken me time to sit back and notice. And in the place where I'm at, the culture, it's not always acceptable to speak, even if you know what's happening. And so again, from a balance, I'm learning through that. When is it appropriate? When is it not appropriate? And when does it serve the better and higher good to speak versus not to speak? And so that's been different. The second thing that I've learned about myself here lately is I'm always doing, always doing. I'm always, what's the action? What's required? What's next? And I'm 50-50 where it's learned and versus natural. But via circumstances, I've become more doing than not. And so in me doing, I've been seeking a higher purpose and, hey, what am I supposed to be doing here? What am I supposed to be learning? Hey, this is a great opportunity. What can I offer and what can I take back and serve to others? And in my mind, I've been thinking, hey, I want this to be big and broad and verbose, and it has to be large quaffs and wafts of people. And it literally hit me. No, not really. A small group works because there's some things that I've learned for myself. Again, going back to peace and balance, I just was like, what if I just offered to share what's been helping me? Such as take a moment to pause, take a breath through breath work in order to regain the power and clarity that you need to keep going. And just that pause, whether it's the 5-second, 30-second, 5-day pause, can be a lot, and it can save you possibly some headache and turmoil than if you rushed out of the adrenaline, out of urgency or someone else's urgency instead of your own beat of your own heart. So those are the things that I'm learning and pondering on these days. With that, I'm complete.
Thank you, Monica. It's nice to have you back stateside. Hope you're doing well, and I miss our calls. Maybe we'll be able to do a call here sometime soon. We got a few minutes left. Karen, I'll give you an opportunity. I don't know if this is your night to talk. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to close out. I'm going to reach out to Destiny and see if we can create a topic around what she wanted a discussion on. See if we can create a topic around that would be for next week. So we'll all kind of see how that unfolds. I want to thank you all for indulging me by going deep. It is this is the stuff, and how nice that there's a group of us that show up on Mondays and are willing to go there and to share and to dig and to strap on the air tank and dive down, many leagues beneath the surface. And it's really great, and it's powerful. And I think it's powerful for each of us. I know it's powerful for me. And so I'm grateful that we have all embraced creating this container for this type of sharing. And that's really what it is. And we're all in this together, and how truly beautiful that is. Tonight, like every Monday night and all the moments between our Monday nights, I love each and every one of you. And it's special what we've got here, and I know that it's special what we all mean to each other. And yeah, in my vision of creating this months ago, I don't know if I thought it was ever going to be as beautiful as it's turned out to be, and that's really, really great. So thank you all so much. Means a lot. Have a really wonderful week. If there's anything any of you need, you can reach out to me. I'm here. If you want to get connected with Vienna, you can reach out to me and I will pass her information along to you for the emotional body code work and all of that. And just anything, we're all here to help each other, and I can serve as a hub and spoke for all of that. So thank you all for being here tonight. Tremendous love, gratitude, and respect. Have a fabulous week from here on out, and we'll look forward to next Monday night. Love you all.